Welcome to Talking New York Real Estate with Vince Rocco. Our show is all about the exciting world of real estate and in particular, how it relates to the luxury New York marketplace. But if you are not planning a real estate transaction in New York, we still have plenty of information you can use no matter where you are. Now, here's our show. Good morning, everyone. By the year 1665, many different nationalities, the indigenous people, every European country, and the African enslaved lived and built a community together in one place. This year, we are commemorating how these diverse cultures became one and created the city of New York 400 years ago this week. By the time the colony of New Amsterdam was taken over by the British in 1665, it had grown to 9,000 people comprised of Dutch, English, Welsh, Irish, Scottish, German, French, Sephardic Jews, Africans, and many other nationalities in between. So this week, I just reached 400 episodes of my show, and that is a monumental achievement for any show and for a New York City real estate podcast. It is a true testament to the dynamic nature of the industry and the voices shaping it. Over the years, this show has become a trusted source for market insights, expert interviews, and trend analysis, bridging the gap between seasoned professionals and curious listeners alike. From navigating the highs and lows of the market to discussing groundbreaking deals and neighborhood transformations, each episode has captured the essence of the city's ever-changing real estate landscape. This milestone today is a celebration of the community built around shared knowledge, the dedication of its creators, and the passion for one of the most competitive and exciting markets in the world. So here's to 400 episodes of inspiration, innovation, and insight, and so many more to come. And at the table with me today, sharing all of this, like old times, are Anna Shagala from Brown Harris Stevens, Tracy Hammersley from Douglas Elliman, Jordan Shea, also from Douglas Elliman, and the infamous Louise Phillips Forbes from Brown Harris Stevens. And they join me now to discuss. But first, let me welcome my listeners and viewers from across the United States and all around the globe. I am Vince Rocco, and this is Talking New York Real Estate. So let's go behind the headlines and get the real story. This is the state of our industry.
Hi, it's Stephen Bailey from Roadway Moving and Storage. Listening to Vince Rocco, you know the right partner makes all the difference. At Roadway, we deliver an experience your clients will love. For specialized services and white glove care, choose Roadway. Want to learn more? Email me at steven@roadwaymoving.com or visit roadwaymoving.com.
All right, everybody, we are back, and I want to tell you this is a great show. It's going to be a fun show. Look at who's here, Anna and Wheezy and Jordan and Tracy. If you remember way back, they were permanent members of this cast for years and years and years. We changed it up a little bit a year and a half ago or so just to kind of change it up. But anytime I see them, I get very excited. And the fact that they can sit at this table is just extraordinary. And thank you all very much. I get, choked up. Anyway,
we feel the same way. It's really awesome.
I know.
Special.
I love you all. But
Same.
We're going to turn the tables today because I'm not going to ask questions. They're going to ask me questions, and we're going to ask each other questions and just go from there. So buckle up because I'm sure it's going to be a wild ride. We have champagne at the table. We have cards. We have everything going on here. 400 episodes. Thank you all. And we'll talk soon. Jordan.
So, my friend.
And away it goes.
First off, congratulations, of course, for 400 episodes. It's incredible. Thank you for having us here to celebrate you and your accomplishment and your achievement. You are not only an industry leader, but an incredible human and a dear friend.
Thank you.
So
we
love you and we support you.
Thank you,
Jordan.
And think the world of you.
Thank you.
And these the 400 episodes
I'm
where
not
you
make
are.
it through this episode.
No. I'm
What he
not.
said.
I need a kerchief here.
We're already all tearing
Oh,
up.
thank
my
God you have
goodness.
one in your pocket. Came prepared.
So 400 episodes in, for you, the milestone aside, what is a takeaway? What is one key point? What are some things that you wish that your listeners and viewers were to take away from the past 400 episodes?
Good question.
It's an excellent question, and there are so many different answers. But, I think one of the main takeaways from this is just, consistency, resilience, keep going. You wake up in the morning, and even though I only do the show once a week, it's in my head every day of the week because it has to be. And so I'm thinking about the next guest. I'm thinking about the next topic. I'm thinking about, what we're going to say, what we're going to write, what the trend is. So the takeaway always is to just be consistent, be focused. I say this every week on the show. The only, the only consistency in our industry is change. Okay,
That's true.
Change has happened in real estate from 23 years ago when I first started, and continues every year, sometimes more than every year. And we have to just be resilient, and we just have to continue to chalk it up, stand up, push back, move ahead, and try and keep that success that we have found in all the years that we work in this business. And this show is no different. Okay, the show is very hard to produce. It's very hard to write. It's time consuming. But after 10 years, I just would hope that everybody walks away from whatever show they're either watching or listening and said, I learned something today. Informative, educational, I learned something. That's my greatest, achievement when people say, why do you do this? It's because of that. And there's so many examples of that. Maybe we'll talk about it later. But
I love that. Yeah.
information, education,
You're a true educator.
and that's what else, why else would you do it, right? I mean, we love all this, of course, but there's a reason behind it, and for me, that's what the reason is.
So Vince, on that note, with everything, all the topics and everything to choose from, how do you, carefully select each week the different topics, the different guests to keep it fresh, to keep it engaging? Why am I not on every month, for example? No, I'm just kidding. But how do you do it? Because there's so much, and then how do you narrow it down? And everything usually flows so seamlessly with the different topics.
Do you think I look like this on purpose? It's a monumental task. It's really hard. On top of doing real estate and dealing with clients who we all know can be very needy and very, in front of you all the time,
No, not
which
at
is a
all.
great thing. Right. And I also teach continuing ed 1 day a week, sometimes 2 days a week when they really force me to. So I'm teaching real estate as well. So then it comes time for the show. So as I said earlier, to Jordan, it's on my mind constantly.
Sure.
I'm always listening for, hey, that might be a great topic, or hey, we did that once before, but there's an update or there's a new trend that was set, so we got to go back and revisit. And even if I do the same topic, after a couple of months, there might be different people at the table. So what we've all learned in real estate really is that everybody has their own way of dealing with this industry,
For
their
sure.
own thoughts,
Yep.
their own opinions, right? Very opinionated industry. So I try and come up with topics that are trending today,
Sure.
that are important today. More importantly, because of the education and the instruction aspect of the show, what people really want to hear. I get a lot of feedback,
Sure.
whether it's text messages from people I don't even know, and keep it coming, okay, email messages, whatever. They ask me, hey, have you done this before? Can you do this topic?
So you get suggestions from listeners.
I'm really interested in hearing. I'm a seller coming up. I'm a buyer. And I'm like, okay, I'll help you buy something if you want. I'll do your topic, whatever. So it comes from a lot of different ways, a lot of different places. And so I love it, But again, you got to keep it here because it can easily become that.
Sure.
Right?
Can we bring it back to the beginning? What inspired you to start the show? And how has it evolved over the last 400 episodes?
I've never heard this story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's a great question. Way back to college? Can we go back that many years? I know I'm old.
A long time ago.
A long, long time ago. Yeah, we'll go
I
back
can
to
still
college.
remember.
Sing it.
I heard that in my head. I know you did. Thank you for finishing.
That's a great question because I get that question a lot from people who listen and write in and whatever. The real simple answer is because when I was in college, I had like 3 majors because I couldn't decide on what I wanted to major in.
What were they?
Education. I was a teacher. I graduated as a teacher. I had a major also in communications and broadcasting.
Perfect.
And the third one, almost a major in psychology. It was like just short of, just
How
shy
could you be
of.
anything
You're in the
else?
perfect career.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How could you be
Hello.
anything else
And
but a
I've used-
realtor?
I've used
Same for me,
every
by the
bit-
way.
And I've used
Yeah.
every bit of all of those, potential majors
No
in
doubt.
this business of real estate. But getting back to communications and broadcasting, I remember I worked for the school newspaper and I wanted to be a reporter. And of course, if I were good enough when I graduated, I wanted to work at ABC or NBC or CBS. I actually had an interview at Eyewitness News way back whenever.
Oh, wow.
Didn't get it. Okay. I'm still here.
They're lost.
I'm still here.
They're lost.
But didn't get it. But I always wanted to follow that track. And, competition in broadcasting is unbelievable. It just never happens. And if you're lucky to fall into it, great. But 9 times out of 10, it doesn't happen. But always in the back of my mind. So then I went into school teaching, and then I went to work at IBM as a technology, whatever. I've always done everything that I'm not qualified for or trained for, and just kind of made it a success, right?
But passionate for.
But passionate for, because again, as I said earlier, you've got to stay focused and you got to stay passionate, because you can do anything you want to do. Just do it, okay? So all these years later, I said, it was always in the back of my mind, I wanted to be an actor, I wanted to be a broadcaster, I wanted to be out there in front of the camera.
See that.
And it never happened. So I finally
So you made it happen.
I finally said, okay, give it up, right?
I'm going to do this
Just
myself.
do real estate and have fun, you know?
Those who can't do real
Teach.
estate.
Teach, right? Now, you should see my performance in the classroom, trust me.
Sad but true.
And by the way, in real estate, you are an actor, okay? You are in front of
1000%.
people all the time. You're talking to people all the time. There's that likability or not, right? And hopefully they like what they see. So many years later, way into my real estate career, I got a phone call from a producer from the Voice America Network in Arizona, and he was recruiting me, and I'm like, who is this? You know, I was
Voice America.
homesick actually with the flu, and I was not feeling well, and I'm like, I don't need a solicitation right now. Leave me alone. Go away. I hung up on him.
Lovely.
Sorry.
Keep coming back.
He came back. No, he rang the phone again. He said, "Did we get disconnected?" I said, "Oh, I don't know. Did we?"
Good for
He went
him.
on and on and on and on. He said, "So, listen, somebody recommended that you do this," and he never told me who. I still don't know who it was.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, "Okay, but what is this?" And he used the word podcast, and I think I mentioned this on last week's show. I hate the word podcast. I don't even know what that means. Didn't know what it meant then, because it really was only a few years old, and nobody really knew what podcasting was. So when he said, well, you know, it's like live radio, because it actually is live radio, and then it will go to podcast after. So the minute he said live radio, I'm like, oh,
I'm
okay.
in.
Well, hello, Voice America.
Now we're talking. Yeah, hello, Voice America. So he explained the whole thing, and I signed a 13-week contract, and he said, listen, if it doesn't work in 13 weeks, you're going to tell us, or we're definitely going to tell you. Well, 13 weeks came and gone, and he's like, okay, so here's a year contract. We'd like you to
Amazing.
continue doing this. And I thought, well, going back to the 13 weeks, the first week of that 13 weeks, I showed up in a studio, and because I've always done this in a studio. I mean, a lot of people do podcasting from home or whatever. That's fine. It doesn't work for me. I like this.
Yeah.
That first episode, I didn't know if I was going to vomit or have diarrhea. Excuse me. This thing was like intimidating. I didn't know where to begin. Like, how do I go live in and out of commercials?
But you were in a recording studio, which also you kind of had to fight the pot. Just to be
remember
clear.
that?
Yes.
Oh, my God,
my
Wheezy.
God.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
the
Blast off studios.
the pot
Blast
closet?
off.
Pot closet.
Oh, man.
We're not
Blast off.
talking cooking here. We're talking marijuana.
Oh, the first day Diane Ramirez came in, I'm like, we need candles in here. She's going to think I'm smoking
Air
weed.
freshener.
I couldn't get wet.
Hi, Diane.
Remember that? Oh, my
Diane.
God. Well, anyway, I had to figure out how to do that. And so the first several episodes were probably like, and I keep going back and wanting to listen to the
Oh, you
first.
should do.
I can't. I can't. I get there eventually, but I can't. Anyway, long story short, so I learned how to do that. And as each week went on and new topics came up and people came around the table, and in those days, if you all remember, I had like 7 or 8 guests at a time. I know you all would flip out behind the camera here, but we had 7 or 8 people around that table, some sitting in high chairs in the back, remember?
High chairs, yeah.
All of us eating our mic sharing, trying to share.
Unbelievable, but it worked, and it worked really well. And as you do something long enough, you build that confidence to feel like you're getting better. I never think that I'm better than the last episode. I still don't. But your confidence kind of gets a little stronger. And
And you no longer have to feel like you throw up or other things.
No. And you go on. Well, sometimes I'm like, I didn't sleep well last night, or I didn't have enough coffee, so I can't really talk today. And then I come here and it's like, boop.
Faking it till you make it. I
Fake
always
it till you
say
make it.
2 things about real estate is that, well, in life really is knowledge is power. And I used to really feel like
Indeed.
real estate was about brick and mortar when I first got in the business, but it's really the business of people.
100%.
And one of the things that you have offered is such an anchor in the community, and that anybody who knows you is to love you. And so to have this kind of platform for us to be able to, it's a very competitive business, but it doesn't have to be, because there's an abundance of business in our vertical,
So well
weird
said.
and wonderful city. But
There's enough to go around.
There's enough to go
There's
around.
so much to go around, but
Absolutely.
that's so well said because it's true.
But it doesn't have to be. And what I love is that generosity of knowledge, which is a philosophy of my business. And I would also say, last but not least, I really have been wondering what is the most memorable show that you've had in the 400 shows?
Ooh.
Now that I'm close enough to the mic.
I know we keep getting signals like, get close to the mic. You know, there have been so many memorable episodes, so many. And I can, cheat and say, just having all of you here is going to be a memorable episode somewhere down the road when we
sure.
hit 500 shows or whatever the number is.
That's right.
But one of the shows I remember, I used to try and get, I still try and get, as big names as possible, right? So I remember I had a book author, Michael Gross, he wrote The House of Outrageous Fortune about 15
I sold his
CP.
apartment.
There you go.
Nice. Of course you did.
Of course you did. I'm thinking, of course you did. 15 CPW or wherever. And then the other book was 740 Park Avenue. And I remember reading those books before I started doing this. And I was so intrigued because I was in real estate. And, he just depicted, the rich and famous and the super wealthy so well. I said, he doesn't know me from a hole in the wall, but I want to have him on the show. And I will tell you, I've had many memorable shows, but the interview with Michael that morning back at Blast Off, that goes way back to the beginning, was definitely a defining moment for me on the show because when I interviewed him, and I'm going to get all choked up again, I thought, okay, you've arrived. You can talk to somebody like Michael Gross, an author who sold millions and millions of books. And he came and he said, thank you. I would do that again.
Oh.
Did it take a lot to get him on the show?
No.
Did you have to cajole and plead?
No,
And
and it's interesting. Good question. We asked, and he said yes. And I'm like, I was only doing it a couple of years. Who the hell's Vince?
I love
right?
it.
Right.
But he came. He knew it was real estate related. And look, like anybody else, it's going to sell more books. And hopefully it did. He gave me a copy of both books, which I already had.
I need
But
to
he
read
signed them.
those. Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I still have them.
Regift.
We take free gifts. Just kind of
I know, not with the side. Yeah.
bring them on.
That's so
bring
cool.
them on.
So wait, how did you get from your 13 weeks with Voice America to here 400th episode? I feel like we cut you off in the middle of your story of how this all kind of came to be.
So the 13 weeks became 1 year, and the 1 year became 7 or 8, and then we got hit with COVID, as Jordan reminded me in the green room earlier. We got hit with COVID, so we were off for like a year and a half. And then when I was ready to come back, because everybody kept saying, is the show coming back, or did you bury it permanently?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't tell you, and this is not ego talking, but everybody, all of us, all of our, you all
Yes,
bug
for
me,
sure.
all of the, you did.
We're like, the Zooms aren't working.
I know.
the Zooms are not working, trust me. But and then we stopped completely
Yeah.
because we couldn't go to the studio anymore.
Right.
But everybody, fans, people out there, other agents, I got a testament to all you agents out there who listen. I love you dearly, and they're a great group of people who listen consistently every week. The numbers, as we talked about offline, are incredible. But I just said, okay, it's time to come back. And so we've been back now for 2.5 years, I think it is, and just steamrolling ahead. So for 7 years on the Voice America Network, almost 8 years, it was 1 week after the other. We were 9 o'clock in the morning. We were live.
That's right.
And
We
it was
remember.
inconvenient for all of us, right? Whenever our studio, it was never close to where any of us lived. So we were always crossing
That's
town
true.
and doing whatever. But we did it.
Yep.
And we did it successfully. And the numbers at Voice America were outrageous. I mean, I get excited about the numbers today. They were double then. So we're still building
Wow.
back.
Okay.
We've got a great, huge audience. But what they were in those days were unbelievable. But again, that's 7 or 8 years of focus, of not letting up. And I see this when I teach real estate in school. I tell the students all the time, you have to continue to get up in the morning, throw your legs over the bed. I don't care if it's a good day, if it's a bad day, you don't know what the day is going to be. Just get up, make your cup of coffee, get yourself dressed, and go. Because that's how we deal with the industry that we're working in. And doing that,
Absolutely.
right? We all know that.
Yep.
And whether it's going to be a good day or bad day or not, you just go and do something. Go to the office and do paperwork.
Coffee always
which I
helps.
need to do after this show is over. Coffee for sure. But it's the same with this. You just get up, do it. I go home and I'm like, whew, that's another episode done. However many that is, 400.
That's right.
today.
I love it.
And here we are.
And we got to take a break, but we're going to come right back. This is Talking New York Real Estate on the More Network, and I have not stopped yet. Sorry. Don't go anywhere.
Sorry.
The Everset provides full-service staging and furniture rental solutions in the New York area. For more information, please visit us at staging.theeverset.com or email us at staging@theeverset.com to request a free proposal.
Okay, everybody, we are back in our fifth and sixth seat are Matt Leone and the infamous Greg Heim, Chief,
They're not here just for the champagne.
Chief
but I think
Marketing
it's a fitting
Officer
time.
and
We're not saying we're here for the champagne.
all over our
Jordan,
clean
you were the one
carpeting.
shaking
Oh
this up,
dear.
weren't you?
Look the other way.
Voila.
Okay.
This is like grammar.
Come on, we're gonna have one sip
Right?
because it is
Yeah.
still only
Thank
morning.
you.
But it's 5 o'clock somewhere, as we've already established.
Well, if it were
so.
5 o'clock, it would be vodka.
I mean, there's such a thing
No.
as mimosas,
For
bellinis.
celebration,
People
it's
do
always
drink.
champagne.
Okay,
and
it's
this
always
is a
champagne.
celebration, so
Mr.
happy
Heim.
for you,
We can
Vince.
afford this for Vince.
Douglas Elliman had to come in with the
Sponsor.
champagne. It's okay. I'm here for
Did you
you.
bill that? Did you,
Be sure to crop her out.
Everyone else,
Here you go.
it's fun.
Oop, one more.
Two more.
and-
go.
Cheers, Vince. We're
Okay,
so
guys.
proud of
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
We love you.
Thank you. Love you.
Cheers.
Thank
Love
you.
you all.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
My guys back there, love you.
Don't worry, I only have 350
Thanks
to
for
catch you.
watching and listening.
Cheers.
Salud.
That's right. Thank you for listening, everyone.
Vince, when
The
was
team behind the camera is awesome.
When
They
was the
certainly
first
are.
episode? Do you know the year?
I do.
around? When was
April 14th, 2014.
that? 2014.
2014.
11 years.
Can you imagine? I mean,
No.
they asked a couple of questions before, and it goes way back to those days. And sometimes I think, well, that's a lifetime. But then some days I think, that's it? It feels like
Right.
20.
Only and also already.
And also already.
I mean, think about the cycles of the real estate market since that moment.
2014 was my team's best year.
Well, mine too.
Yeah, that was a climbing year. Yeah.
Well,
It's a great year coming back.
prices have changed though. If you look at 14
If
now,
you own a
it's like-
pre-war co-op unrenovated, they have not.
And you would know.
Vince hasn't changed. Vince hasn't changed.
They
Who
have
was your
not changed.
Who was your very first guest?
Oh,
Do you remember?
Were you on the show, Weezy?
I thought I was.
I should have prepared. I have no clue.
I thought I was the first.
Keep you on your toes, Vince.
We will have to revisit the
Niall
archives.
was on, and I think
everybody was completely intimidated with my cards.
yes, they were. Not me though.
We still are.
So hard to imagine.
Well, we're all allowed to have paper on the table today. I said I'll explain later. But the
Matt's giving you the side eye.
I know.
No,
but-
it's well branded.
No, it's
Yeah.
well branded. That's all. But I think it was Wheezy. I think it was Niall, because he was on day one also, and I don't remember the other
Remember those orange
7.
glasses?
Of course, and the red ones. I still have them.
So you had 7 guests on your very first show?
6 or 7.
Wow,
I think
that's
so.
a lot.
It's a rodeo.
I've been on episodes where you've had 9 guests.
Yes.
The glory days, Matt. The good old days.
And the first thing he said when we came here was, "We can't do that anymore." Okay, we got that.
Chaos in the
Who
studio.
is your dream guest? Name 3
Ooh,
Besides us, of course.
that
Right.
haven't been on yet.
that haven't been on your dream gets.
Oh my
That's
God,
so
that's a tough
good.
one. Yeah, that is really.
This is
good.
now an advertising segment, too. Go.
Yes.
Is that in the real estate world or anything?
I was going to say anything.
Yeah.
Across the spectrum.
Okay, I would like to have.
Josh Allen.
My God, he's reading my mind.
Oh, wow. Really?
Big
Depending on the
football
season,
fan. I mean, it
Patrick
doesn't.
Mahomes.
Well,
Yeah. My homie.
hold on.
My homie.
I got some
It doesn't apply to real estate, but you know what? We can sometimes do a little, diversion. I was going to say a city council member would be great. I'm
Okay.
always looking to get somebody like that. The head of revenue has been one of my, go-tos. I haven't gotten
Sure.
that, but
The head
Go
of
back
revenue
to
would
the
be
football. Go back to
should come
football.
should come on the show.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
football, Josh Allen or
Aaron Rodgers.
no.
He has an exclusive with McAfee, probably.
Dan Marino.
Interesting.
Too
Patrick-
busy in a cave right
Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, thank
Yes.
you. Where it belongs.
By the way,
Patrick
Patrick
Mahomes.
Mahomes' acquisition of real estate is very impressive, and I just wanted to give him a little shout out. I'm very proud. At 24, the acquisition are still happening.
He's
Well,
very impressive. He's truly
and
impressive.
Josh needs to start investing, and maybe in New York. So hey, listen, we're
Or Miami.
we're here.
Call Vince Josh.
Or Miami. There you go.
So
Well,
I'll
we
take
have
a
nice,
referral
we
fee
have
from
a
you.
nice arm of
I will take a
Miami.
referral fee from you, Vince.
There you go.
So what's in the what's in the cards then for the next 100 episodes, next 11 years, however long?
You know what's fun about that question? I'll tell you the answer to that, and I'm meaning that sincerely. I have no clue.
Well,
I
Jordan,
have
why don't
no
you
clue.
tell him? Jordan has come up with some excellent topics over the years, if you'll
Well,
recall.
hold on, because next week's show is already planned. That's already been in the books about building management or whatever. Dylan Pachulica's coming on. But the bottom line is, I don't know. Because like I said at the top,
It's
I
exciting.
wait for
And you
trends
also
to happen,
following the
or
trends.
a big news story to
Sure.
happen, or some big name to do something, cuckoo or whatever. I don't know. I have no
He
idea.
doesn't
good
know
answer.
because he hasn't
That's a
read
good
my
answer.
reports yet. That's when Vince knows.
Well, he's coming on. And by the way, my competition over here on the More Network, okay, crossing the
Week
line.
to week, we're not sure who actually has the most views each week.
Well, you know,
That's
of course
me.
I do.
You are, but
Right, of course.
you did win 24.
I did win.
Well, yes, you wouldn't.
Well, now that
But
you're on
seriously,
the show
crossing the
today,
line, great
Greg,
show.
Well,
you know.
he's like the Kansas City Chiefs. His numbers are rigged. I can't.
Oh,
Now you sound like my brother.
This is
Those
turning into a
refs are all-
showdown. We're supposed to
I
be
know.
celebrating.
Blame it on the refs. They're all for
Vince, tell the good folks listening, which show is your brother's favorite show?
He doesn't listen to mine,
What?
John.
Stop.
No.
Crossing the line.
Crossing the line with
No.
Greg Heim. I sent it to him in the very beginning. He checks out mine every once in a while. No, but you talk about the same stuff
That's
all
so
the
nice.
time. I said, and he doesn't.
Wow.
You don't talk about the same stuff every time
Oh,
because
he's-
you're trending.
He's kidding me, but but he loves his show. Every week he's like, I saw him this weekend. He said,
It is
How's
awesome.
your man?
We were
Greg. I
trying
said,
to
he's
hit the
okay.
Vince's family demographic. That was Matt's target audience.
He asks about his
And then we
show,
can
but he don't
grow
ask
it
about
from
mine.
there.
So I said, I'm celebrating 400 episodes this week. He's like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah. How many is Greg?
Yeah, Greg, how many
How about your
episodes?
friend? I said,
We
I don't know.
just did 54, I think.
Oh, that's so cute. I mean, congratulations.
Keep coming back, baby.
He's in talks to do 2 episodes a week in some weeks
Just to
try and
catch up.
with you.
Well,
So
well,
watch out.
you know what I say? Good luck.
No, we're
Vince-
moving the show to TikTok. We'll be done by Friday.
Vince, you didn't realize this is actually a roast. This Vince Rocco, Vincent Francis Rocco Jr. This is your roast.
I set it up to
And
be
we had
just
this
that.
old picture of you that
Oh, my God.
is from college.
It's the two heads of Vince from 2014, Greg.
No, you know what they say about real estate headshots, right? You pick the one that looks the nicest, and you just go with it. What's wrong with that?
no matter how much it doesn't resemble your current.
Well, if I put those glasses on, it would look just like me.
Just like him.
Where
Come
are
on.
those glasses?
Come on.
Spitting image.
That is actually, that's a line I use when meeting new clients. Sometimes I'm like, I still look like my picture.
Actually, I don't need
Even-
glasses.
I'll
Those
put
are
on
just,
my glasses for
cosmetic.
you in honor of you.
Well, honey,
There
you
it
always have
is.
great glasses.
I know.
there you
It's
go.
always beautiful.
So
Lizzie.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Because I want to know of all of your listeners and their stories.
I love the champagne. Thank you.
Do any of
welcome.
those
more.
stories have something that resonates with you or your favorite that you want to share with us today?
A lot of
because
the-
so many people reach out to you.
A lot of the stories do resonate, even sometimes the stories that you all hear at the table tell me. But the stories I really enjoy the most is when I get emails from sellers or emails from buyers or even other agents who listen, in big numbers. And they tell me their success story. I listen to you, and I just love this. And again, I'm probably going to get choked up again, but I love when I hear things like, I've learned a lot about the New York City real estate marketplace from listening to your show. And I was able to buy something and not have the best one and not have the fear that is associated with buying in New York or in any big market. Because listening to your people every week, my people, there you have it, made it easier for me to do. Or a seller saying, hey, I'm not so intimidated because I hear, stuff that you guys talk about.
And you know what right questions to ask.
Correct. And so it's kind of stories like that, and there have been many of them. Sure, I like when I hear, an agent say, I got a client from one of my Matt has gotten clients. Probably several of you have gotten clients from this show. Yep. Hey, that's what it's all about, right?
I mean, we
I've
need to
gotten
have hair
clients.
as good as Matt, but yes, I get you.
I have one coming up, and I don't want to jinx it. That can, make my year ×2 from this show.
Oh, that's so cool.
That just reached out maybe a month and a half ago. You know who I'm talking about.
I do.
We're looking at one of your properties.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes, let's do it. Let's
Yes,
do
let's
it.
do it.
Yes, we're ready. We're
Have
ready.
you guys
you're
done a deal
listening-
together before? Have you guys all done a deal
Years
with
ago.
Vince?
Yeah.
Years ago.
Of course.
I have not.
Well, just to actually add to what you're saying, not even to ask you a question, but for people that are just getting into the market for the first time, this is a way to add some humanity to something that they believe to be transactional. when they hear us talking about, you know, the situations that we've been through and how passionate we are about it, it brings it back down to the fact that you know, this industry can have some bad eggs, but it also, especially now, I
call
feel
them
like it's
banana heads.
evolved. I think the industry's evolved where there are really, really, really good agents out there. And to Weezy's point about it not being or shouldn't be competitive, it has become a lot more collaborative in my opinion. And I think people
I
that
agree.
watch your show, you bring such a genuine humanity to it, and the guests that you have, that now I'm getting choked up thinking about it. You know, people, it makes it more attainable for people.
for
I
sure.
agree. And like Weezy said before, it doesn't have to be hard. It could be
Right.
really easy. And one of the things I like about teaching is, I mean, a lot of things I like about teaching, but when the new students come from the other class on a break and the teacher over there is a good friend of mine, he's always like, go talk to Vince. You know, he's in the business a long time. Go talk to Vince. So they come in and they don't know who the hell I am, whatever. And then a couple of them have said to me over the last couple of months, oh, you're the guy who does that podcast.
I recognize that voice.
Uh-huh. Yeah, right. Can't you recognize the voice? And I said, why, do you listen? Oh, my God. Let me tell you something, but don't tell him, the teacher in the other room. I learned more from your show, and this is the truth. I mean, I hear this from a lot of people. I learned more from your show than you do sitting in a classroom. I said, well, wasn't that all of our college experience?
Right.
You get
Real
book
world.
smart, but so what? That's not on the
It's
job
the life
training.
smart.
You're not life smart. So if you're hearing things from the show, that's the whole point of what I said before, educational, instructional. Why not? If you can't educate somebody, don't waste their time. So thank you for that, Anna, because I try to be as collaborative with the banana heads out there that we have in our industry and with everybody
It's the
else, because there
nicest
aren't
term
that
I've heard
many
for them.
banana heads, but there are a few
That's
of
what
them.
people used to call me in elementary
Anna
school.
Banana.
Anna Banana. Well, there you go.
The truth is
Don't trigger her.
that what we've come to learn from me 35 years later is that our business is there's an attraction that promotion just doesn't need to be in the vocabulary, because if you're attracting by being generous,
Yeah.
then the collaboration is a natural evolution.
Well, somebody said to me a long time ago, probably a college professor, don't try too hard, because just be who you are. And if you're a good enough person all the way around,
Yes.
they're going to come and find you.
I'm just reflecting on me with my unitard,
No,
my
I know.
prairie skirt, and my cowboy boots.
And your dancing leg up in the air. Mm-hmm.
Y'all,
Foam rockette, or almost. Hello.
But Vince, what you should also look at is the spirit of cooperation that you've built over the years.
Yes.
Is not what this industry traditionally is, and that
That's-
the
yeah,
fact that you
that's
were
what I
so
mean.
giving
Yeah.
over all these years, and I don't think you're doing it for the reasons of what most real estate agents do for how can I sell, how can I get business, how can I get something in here to get a commission from. Like there is a spirit of this show that
well
has been
said.
400
Yes.
shows deep.
Yeah.
That is simply to give.
Yeah, that's the
and
generosity
you're just
that we
giving,
see.
and you're not
Absolutely.
asking for really anything in return.
And you're
that-
passing it on. That's spreading it to all of us and the listeners that see, oh, that's how it can
that's
be and
what's so
should be.
special
I can't
about
take it.
Really, I'm serious.
No,
And
but
it's not only that, you know, you gave me, you know, the framework, and I think everybody else
And the
on this
inspiration.
network,
Yes.
of course, inspiration.
You were the first one.
You know,
Do you
going on
regret
your
that?
show gave me the experience. What was that?
I asked if you regretted
I
that.
actually listen to his show every week. I love it.
great.
No, it's you know, obviously I have a little bit of an ego like you, but I had to
Really?
learn the mechanics of how to do it. And you've taught everybody, I think, in this industry that does a podcast,
I hope so.
a lot about having different people on the show, not just keeping it to, you know, people from your own firm or
Yes.
your own
And
sphere,
let's
bringing in all sorts of
No,
people,
yeah.
even humble economists. Well, I'm not a humble, but even economists.
Chief economists like him, yeah.
And let's
No, but
not forget how much of a pro you are. And how seamless every show
It's so
is.
true.
You don't
You make
see
it
him
look
in my
easy.
office before he comes in here.
Yeah, right.
You make it
we
look
have coffee
easy.
every Tuesday morning in his office. Yeah. No, but the thing is, I appreciate the giving aspect. Thank you, Matt, because I was just telling a family member, I can't respond to, takers because I'm such a giver.
Right. Yes.
But I don't like it when people expect something from me. I just naturally do that, right? That's just who I am. I don't receive very well. I can't. I'm just like, oh,
We
no,
know.
you
We
don't have to
know.
do that. No. But I like to give. And again, going back to what the whole premise of this show is about, is that if I can give you some knowledge, not just mine, but all of yours, and I hope you recognize every week, I like it when they all have something to say. I just ask the questions. That's it. Talk. You're the expert.
The table is
You're the
turned,
pros.
baby.
So
Well, unfortunately,
We have more
today
questions.
I'm going to go home.
The
Neil
funny
Ossinger.
thing is that the negative criticism that you've had is that we're all talking too much and talking over each other because it can get so boisterous
so
and
excited.
fun.
But isn't that who we are?
The radio family.
And that's
in this
exactly
studio,
we
right?
all
I
we all
mean-
needed to clam up
Right.
at some
So
point.
Vince, delving a little deeper, what's been the most difficult episode that you've had to produce, and how has that turned out to be kind of rewarding?
Oh my God! I once, and I don't remember his name. I had
That sounds.
I know. Probably
no,
for the
I
best.
had the son of one of our regular panel members on. Do you remember? She worked at Halstead for a while. What was her name? She was cuckoo as the day is long, but she wanted to be.
Let's not remember her name.
Oh, no, actually, no. Actually, she was not at Halstead. I knew her from my Blue days. Anyway, and her son was going into the moving business. So she said, I would like my son to come on to talk about his new career. And I'm like, okay, moving has something to do with whatever.
Sure.
We were live, okay? And my engineer was screaming in my ear. And in those days, I was doing Skype on the thing. And I kept in capital letters, tell him to stop talking.
Oh dear.
He was F-bombing every other word.
No.
So it was
Stop it.
beyond, but not, I mean, that's just who he was.
and that's before editing.
Yeah.
That
beep, beep,
was
beep, 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 beep.
live. They edited it for podcasts, but the podcast went from an hour to like 20 minutes.
Right. Oh
But
my
for
God.
a lot of
live, it went,
F-bombs.
and I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, this is insane. How can we do that? So that was very difficult to get through. And I kept thinking, that will never happen again.
But it makes for a good story.
And I told, his mother, who was a friend of mine who worked with me at that company, I said, never again. Oh, I didn't think he was going to do that. Well, he did. On that note, we have to take a break. So,
Mic drop.
Talking New York Real Estate on the More Network. Thank you to Greg. Thank you for Matt, my inspiration,
Thank
and
you,
always to
Vince.
my team back there. We're coming right back after these messages.
With
Don't
no
go anywhere.
F-bombs.
This podcast is supported by the More Network, powered by Brown Harris Stevens. Real estate touches every aspect of our lives, from design and architecture to investing and the economy. Now there's a way to get all your real estate information in one place. The More Network. With more than 20 podcast and webcast series, the Mastery of Real Estate Network is powered by Brown Harris Stevens, one of the country's most distinguished brokerages. Discover advice from notable entrepreneurs, compelling topics, and access to top global real estate experts. Subscribe to their YouTube and Apple podcast channels by visiting GetMoreNetwork.com.
Okay, everybody, we are back. So we're doing a little bit of a fun show today. Not as informative as I said in the last segment.
Say that.
I think it's still informative.
No, informative, but I mean, we're not educating, from a real estate perspective today, and that's okay. We have our moments where we need to be silly and fun, and honestly, I couldn't think of doing it with a better group. I mean, this is my my history. My past.
The radio fam.
The
crew.
original radio fam.
The radio
That's
fam.
right.
Thank you. And my card. I keep showing my card. Look at that. A long time ago.
In the
right?
galaxy far away.
A long time ago.
I can
love
still
that.
remember.
Oh my God. Anyway, we're back. So, what do we want to talk about?
Well, you ended the last segment talking about the most challenging show. What about challenges just throughout the?
I think the challenges throughout for every show is to, and it's my own neuroses, is to just, I try, even though I said earlier, I don't think I'm better than last week's show or whatever, I try every week to get, the challenge for me is every week to do better. But even when I'm, the next deal that I'm working on in a real estate transaction, try and learn from your mistakes, try and, dust it off and figure out what went wrong, what didn't go well. And build upon that. And I do the same thing here, probably a little more intense here because so many more people are watching.
Yeah,
In my
it's
little real
pressure.
estate transactions, it's just me and my clients and whatever, so it's not as significant. It is, but not as visible. So over here, I don't want to come across as not knowing what I'm doing at all.
That's
and
never happened.
I know, you always
and try and be as up to date on the trends. So that it's challenging to kind of like I leave, after the show or next week's show is already done for a whole host of reasons. But normally I leave a Tuesday afternoon and I go about my day and then I go home and I say, okay, now you got to start thinking about and preparing and writing next week's show.
How long does it take you to prepare a show?
It used to take me 2 days. Now I will tell you, in all honesty, it takes me about a half a day.
Okay.
because I know the formula.
Mm-hmm.
The hardest part of every week's show is booking the panel members.
Okay.
That's the hardest part of anything. I can
But
come
you,
up with a topic.
you have a waiting list. You have people who are clamoring
really
to get
do.
on. I mean,
I do
that's-
have a waiting list too, and then people get frustrated because they're not on fast enough. I'm like, hey, I only do one show a week.
Tracy,
I can
hush.
I know. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be in the room.
So it's like, I miss coming to the show. I'm like, I know, sweetie, me too.
I get it.
But there is a waiting list.
Douglas
And
Elliman.
So I try and get as many people on as I can because I want to be, I think one of these guys said, you open it up to everybody, not just Brown Harris Stevens.
Yes.
I would never want it to be just one, company show because that's not what it's about.
Well, I have a question that just so do you feel that there's been through that diversity and your openness and attracting such good people, do you feel like you've discovered somebody who was sort of not known, whether it's a vendor or whether it's a that through the platform that you shared with them, they really became the star that they were, the road they were on?
That is an unbelievably great question. And I would say the answer to that quickly is I hope a bunch of people, but one in particular, and you all know who he is. And I am only mentioning his name because I love him to death like a brother. Believe me, I love him to death. And he mentions it all the time. So I don't feel bad saying it, but Niall.
Yeah.
Niall Lundgren. I mean, he was my first panel with you on my show almost 11 years ago, 11 next month. He was a rental agent. Didn't know anything about really anything. And, other than being good as a rental agent. And he wanted to get into sales.
Good at the schmack, he had the gift of the gab.
He had the gift of the gab. And I realized
Love
after
Niall.
that first episode, I said, this boy is going places. And he was really young then. He still is. But I mean, he was very, very young. And I said, this boy's going places. And he used to say,
You
"Can we
have
come
more
back
hair
again?"
than he does.
I do.
That's true.
Love you, Niall.
And some days it sticks up in the air. But no, he's quite amazing. He's coming on in a couple of weeks. He's now busy doing his own reality TV show.
Yeah.
So talk about success.
Yeah.
And he attributes this show and me all. That's why I say I love you dearly, and I'm so proud of you because you've done. He's a guy who, as busy as we are as real estate agents, as I said before, focus and inspiration and determination. He told me 10 years ago, I'm going to do this and I'm going to have my own TV show. And where are we?
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are we?
That's
And he's also enormously successful as an agent, by the way.
right.
Okay?
And also it's the passion, it's the generosity, it's the
Yeah.
consistency.
Yeah.
And he put the work in.
Well,
Big
Vince,
time.
this is not a question, but I just want to say I actually had not met Niall until coming on the show. And that
Same.
is such a
I love
wonderful
him to
thing that
pieces.
you have created such a way. I feel so bonded and so close to certainly everyone here around this
Yeah.
table today. But just I met agents in my own company, the Renna family, when they wrote the book. It was such a wonderful introduction. Just people that I had never thought of or might not have encountered or maybe had crossed paths with before just in the course of doing business, but didn't really know them, didn't know what they were about. Jackie Chapletsky. I mean, these are people in my own company that I didn't really know much about until we were all around the table
Love
with the
Jackie.
microphones with you. And it's like why you bond with people on a round of golf. You're in there 3 to 5 hours and you're like, oh, okay. So it's the same thing. We're building something together. We're bonding, and you have done that. You have created that. And that's I can't thank you enough for that.
Well, thank
Jordan
you.
and I
met
met
this
on the
guy
show.
many years ago before the show. He was running around on the boulevard one day, and I was running around on the boulevard where my company used to be, and I was like,
I love it.
You wore bow ties back then.
Oh my
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you
that
then.
was your, that was your
Amazing.
signature.
from time to time.
That's hilarious.
Oh, I can't picture
And
that.
I'd be like,
was
okay, he
atrocious.
was working for a large team, and I'd be like,
It was so bad.
I just wanted to say hi.
Come in. Hi, gorgeous. So nice
I just want to say Apostle.
Good to see you.
Hi.
oh my
400. Is this your 400?
This is one of my favorite people in the
I
world.
just wanted to
Best
say,
friend.
hey guys,
so
look at
funny.
these
Yes.
people. Okay,
Queen
guys,
bee.
where's the drinks?
Well, we have champagne, but I'm
Okay,
here.
all right. L'chaim to everyone. Salud. Love you guys.
Love
Oh my God.
Love you, Beth.
The best
Bye.
bomb.
Bye.
The best
The
photo
best
bomb.
The best photo bomb in the world. Yes, the best. Oh my God.
So
Love that lady.
fun, Beth.
CEO, Brown Harris Stevens. Wow. Isn't that
Queen
something?
Bee.
Queen
But
Bee.
see,
Oh,
as I was saying, feeling the love from everyone. Well deserved.
That is very well deserved. Anyway, so you were saying bonding with people,
Jordan.
whether it's around a
Jordan,
golf,
yes.
and I said
You met him on the boulevard.
I met him on the boulevard, and it's almost like from day
And a bow
one.
tie.
I don't remember bow tie.
An
days.
atrocious bow
I've known
tie.
you since
It
day
was
one.
in my blue days when I came back here. I was like,
I never knew you with a bow tie.
I only wore it once in a blue moon, but of course he found it.
In a blue moon.
Yeah,
But
in a blue
okay.
moon.
Spikes.
And the hair is back to 10 years ago, of course. But yeah, so he's, I knew him before the show, and here we are, right? I mean,
Baby
all
Jordan.
of you, it's kind of like, wow,
We're growing
again,
up together.
We are. And I don't necessarily always know what to say in moments like this, but I'm grateful. And I say all the time to the audience when I'm either opening or closing, I'm so humbled that people actually will take the time of the day. We talked about it last week. This show is 1 hour. It's not a 20-minute podcast. It's not a 40-minute podcast.
Or
It's
an hour and 20 minutes for waiting on Anna.
I knew she was going to say that.
I gotta go.
I knew she was going to say that. I got things to do. I'm a busy
Lucy
agent.
has a big closing and $50 million
Exactly.
buyers
There
to
we
show.
go.
So we get it.
15 CPW on her way. Anyway, yeah, so it is what it is. And, we've known each other for a very long time. And again, as I said to Matt before, I can't even imagine 10 years. It feels like 20, but yet it feels like 1.
Yeah.
Well, the memories come up on Facebook with all the photos that
I
we
love
take,
that.
and
I
some of
know.
them
I
seem like
know.
yesterday, and some of them seem like just eons ago.
I
Yeah,
know.
for sure.
There's a lot of growth.
100%.
Well,
Anyway.
here's to 400 more at least,
I'm
right?
gonna drink my champagne.
Cheers, exactly.
Cheers. Gotcha.
Mwah. Long distance.
And to you guys behind the camera, the best.
Exactly right.
Best
But we've
crew.
also had our fun, through the years when we were a regular panel every week. And as I said before, sometimes we had like 8 or 9 people. In one of our studios, we had like high chairs in the back against the
Right.
That's right. I forgot about
what do you
that.
call it? The control room window.
Yeah.
And then like 7 people
With the
around
purple
table.
lighting.
Yes, so
Remember
Every
flattering.
week they'd say, "What color lights do you want?" I'd say, "Let's do purple. Let's do red. Let's do pink. Let's do blue." Remember, every week was a different
Yeah, it was a
color.
different color.
We've come a long way, baby.
And we've come a long way, but we used to have so much fun around that table.
Yes.
Constantly
We still do.
laugh and joke, but yet then get to the point of
Jordan.
of a
Jordan,
real serious
Jordan, it's
conversation.
hit or miss for Joe.
Well, I mean, there's the B-roll, right? There's some of the comments taken off taping that are just
Well,
best
one
left
of
in
the
private
things we-
collection.
There should be a B-roll show. There really should be.
Well, in those days we didn't do this. We only
Right.
did this.
Right.
So can you
Can we
imagine?
request that? Can we request a B-roll show?
Oh my God, I would love that. I'm sure he's got plenty of bloopers. Plenty of bloopers. I'm not saying
This
anything.
is you not saying anything?
Busted.
No. These guys back there keep me sane. But anyway, I'm sure if we did the bloopers back in those days, it would be
Oh, it'd be
hilarious. Oh my
hilarious.
God. I think one person fell off the chair once because I
For
don't know.
real?
Was it yeah.
Jordan pushed him.
No, on one of
Was
the
it
high
Matt?
chairs. They kind of went to get deserved it. Fell off. I don't remember who it
No
was.
holds
that I
barred on the
thought-
show today.
Yeah, okay. It is what it is. But, it's just been a journey.
Well,
It's
I
been
think
a very long journey.
you probably have already answered this in some formats, but how do you feel that actually just doing the podcast has helped you grow personally and professionally in the whole real estate industry?
Oh,
That's a good one.
wow! I've learned so much just doing the podcast as a form of technology and getting the message out there. Just learning how to do it, as I said before, was a monumental task. But how it's helped me grow in the industry because I'm constantly reading about what's happening in New York real
You
estate.
have
To
to be on top
prepare.
of it.
Oh, I've
Because I
learned so
have
much
to
from you,
prepare.
listening or being here. It's
I read everybody's market reports. Greg Heim, who was here a little while ago, I look at his stuff all the time. I read, all of them. I can name every one of them.
Noah and all
Oh,
those guys.
Rosenblatt. Oh my God. Urban Digs, amazing. But you know what? The bottom
love
line
Urban
is
Digs.
I constantly am reading something, and sometimes I say, oh, that would be a good topic, and I'll write it down. Or even just for my own business. Oh, I didn't know that, or I learned something new. So you're constantly reading and learning, whether I'm preparing for the show or preparing for real life real estate
Sure.
out there on the street every day. That has made me grow as I think about, 23 years ago when I started, and I had a big career in corporate America before I came to real estate and making a lot of money. And I remember people saying to me, "Are you kidding me? You're going to give up that kind of salary
to become a
make
salesman? To
nothing?"
become a salesman?
That's because your agent at the time lured you in to this business.
Oh, that's right. Who was that agent? Who was that
Me.
magical agent?
Now, that is a true story. I was looking for a rental, and I bump into Anna Shagaloff, and I'm like, okay.
Okay, but I want to take
And
a
I
little.
became a real estate agent because of her. Thank you.
But you didn't rent the apartment with her, did you?
More history, because do you remember when we met?
Yes.
And I said to you, you need to be a sales agent.
Yes.
and you need to stop with the rentals.
Yeah, you moved into the Halstead
Wow.
office, I want to say, in 2001.
And I said, you know,
And
can
she
do
has
it.
arrived.
Yeah.
And I will also just say that to the point that I think that one of the things that you have such an excellence about you, and obviously it doesn't. We're probably our biggest critics, but everybody who knows me knows I'm terribly dyslexic. So speaking publicly, like I can talk jam with you all day long, but this was not easy for me. And part of the reason why I was so prepared with my cards was because my recall and my working memory and all those things that dyslexia kind of gave a curveball. It was an opportunity for me to practice where I'm walking through a fear and, wanting to be the best version of myself. And that is attributed to you giving me that opportunity.
Well, I thank you, and you've always been one of my favorite guests. And you always talk about, the dyslexia, and quite frankly, I never noticed it.
You would never know.
you'd
Truly,
never know.
Lise, you are such a pro. It's amazing.
Well,
Such a
I will.
pro,
We
really.
fake it till we make it. But I will say that the way my brain works, when you have a challenge like dyslexia or a learning disability, you get a seventh sense, and mine is spatial memory. So I'm like Rain Man,
Right.
which is why
Right.
I'm really good with the development stuff.
Right. Yeah. No. And yeah. Right. Exactly. And some people, I sometimes think I have the same problem, but it's like you work on it, undiagnosed, and you work on it, and you just make it happen. So you're absolutely correct.
So there you have
Love
it.
you, Easy, always. But yeah, I mean that's look. The other thing I'd like to say too is if you can't learn every week after the show, whether it's I talk to my folks behind the cameras who make all this happen, and we talk about this or that, or I hear something from you guys, or even me, I go home and I say, I probably would have done that differently. You have to set yourself up to be able to listen to people's comments, criticism.
Yeah.
Criticism is okay. You don't have to believe all of it, love
Sure.
all of it, but you listen to it because if you build on that, you get better. And when you do something like this, you can't go in reverse. You kind of have to go and get better, just like in our real estate transactions. You learn something from the last one, you move on to the next one. Hopefully, you'll learn more, and then you
Sure.
keep going on and on and on. That's the only way that you can move
Doesn't matter how
forward.
long you're in this business. There's always something new to learn.
Which is
and
exciting.
let's not get into all the laws changing and all
Right.
of that.
Well,
that's a different thing.
Yeah.
But every transaction is so nuanced that there's always
Different spin, but there's something
There are
that's
often
different,
moments
yes.
where you look back and you say, all right, next time I'm going to do this differently, or I'm going to do this better. I'm going to be more prepared on something or another.
And that's why you're consistently a top agent, Anna, because you are learning from your past. You're not doing the
And it's
Albert
also,
Einstein.
it's also learning from one another. I mean,
Exactly.
I
Oh my
write
God, yeah.
thank you notes for every single transaction, and that only happens
too.
because, and I write it
used
to
to
the
do
brokers on the other side.
That I don't
I
do.
used to do
Because
that,
I got
I know.
that, and I got it at my home address, and it was like not a bill, and it was somebody who's really busy,
Expressing
like all of
gratitude.
us, just
Yeah.
appreciating the professionalism, how approachable I am, how just that whole acknowledgement, and we
That's
need
so
to
nice.
we need
We
to
need
build
that.
each other
Well,
up.
I say that all the time, even where the show is concerned, because our industry is so intense and can be crazy tense. We have to learn how to control that. And when you're here, it's the same thing. You have to learn how to control the elements. You have to learn how to control the people at the table, the topic. I always
No
feel
F-bombs.
like no
I don't know.
F-bombs.
We've been a little uncontrollable.
I have
Can
to,
you really
I
control
have
the
to always
people?
feel like I know enough about the topic. I'm certainly not an expert on every topic, but I have to know enough about the topic because if one of you say something, I have to either react to it or
you have
follow
to
up
be
with
on your
another
toes.
question on it. So I have to kind of know, wait a minute. So you try and read, as we said before, and learn as much as you can. It's time consuming. It's time. I live with my iPad. Okay, constantly
Well,
looking
Vince,
at
let me
something.
ask you. Earlier in the show, you got a little. I wouldn't go back to rewatch the first episode. Do you listen to all of your episodes? Do you re-listen or rewatch? Some actors say they hate to watch themselves. Or you don't like to hear yourself talking.
There's another great question, and here comes a great
I thought
answer.
of that one myself. Hey,
Here comes a great answer. No.
never.
I listen more than I watch because I can't watch me. It's just one of those things.
I get it. You're very watchable. But
Even way back in the day when I was trying to do real commercials, and I did maybe one or two of them, or extra work on a soap opera.
which soap? Which soap?
Another World,
Amazing.
The Doctors. I can go on and on. Anyway, Peyton Plays. The
love
ones that
it.
were done in New York.
Okay.
Oh my God.
The one that were done in New York. But and I was just a background. I wasn't. On
It's in your
camera.
IMDb though, right? We can look that up.
No, not the extras. You can't find the extra names. But anyway, I would watch these and I'd be like, oh, no. We're talking 40 years ago.
Wow.
35, 40 years ago. So when it comes to this, I have watched, and sometimes I get a charge out of it. I put it on my big screen TV at home, YouTube, and I put it on there instead of watching on
Your
a
iPad.
device.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, let's have a martini and watch Talking New York Real Estate. And then I watch 10 minutes of it. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I can't look. I love looking at all you, but I can't. It's just a thing. I don't know what it is. But I hear that most people who do on-camera stuff kind of feel the same way.
Yeah.
I could listen, but even sometimes I say, did you just say that?
I find myself re-listening to shows that I'm on and just remembering what erupts
In the
us
moment.
in
Oh,
that
yes.
moment.
Oh,
And
yes.
there's so much laughter on the show. And finding myself on the subway listening to it and just bursting into laughter and people looking at me like I'm
Crazy
losing my
lady,
mind.
crazy
But-
subway girl.
Well, we got a few minutes left before we go to close. So anything else you guys want to talk about or ask about or remember?
Curveballs.
Jordan.
10 years
Jordan
later.
is always so thoughtful. Let's go, Jordan.
All right.
But when the words come out, though, watch
Twist
out.
my arm.
Off topic, rapid fire. One question, one answer. Favorite Italian dish?
Eggplant parm.
Yeah. Amen.
Delish.
Television show you're binge watching right now.
Ooh, good one.
Oh, I'm not actually, but I want to start. You guys in our friend chat.
Which one?
I don't remember, but I think you're the one who said it. It's in my queue, ready to go. I just haven't found the time to do it. I love binge watching though. Love. At the moment, I'm not. But give
Only
it-
Murders?
Yeah,
Silo?
Only Murders and the Bell Severance.
I
So cute.
watch that all the time.
so
No,
cute.
it's on Netflix. So one of the Hulu. I can't remember which one it is.
Do you sleep on the same side of the bed every night?
Yes, I do.
Do you sleep on the sofa?
I do not. I sleep on the same side and I sleep on my left side. I'm a side sleeper. I'm not a.
Have you ever worn
And I miss my
makeup
dog. She used to sleep
on
with me.
air?
Aw.
Have I ever worn makeup on air? No, but I can tend to use a bronzer once in a blue moon.
No guy liner?
No.
Next travel plans.
Next travel plans, I'm actually talking to a good friend of mine about visiting his sister for her birthday in Florida, but also thinking about a bigger trip, and I know you're considering the same thing, to Italy,
Va bene.
which would be
Ciao
a
bello.
revisit for me. I've been before. So
Come with us this summer.
I know.
I have a
We're
good
talking about
itinerary I'll share with you.
Will you get another dog?
Share with me too.
I will definitely get another dog, and every time I see, oh my God, what's her name? Elaine's dog.
Oh my God,
my
Elaine's
heart the other
dog.
day. Oh my God.
Every
a
time
friend
I
of
see
ours.
the-
kind?
It's a beagle.
A baby beagle. Oh my God, the sweetest
But they
thing.
had recently lost theirs, and they went out and got another one. And my jet has gone 5 years, and
It's been 5 years.
It's been 5 years, I
Oh,
know. But it's
Vince.
5 years of should I do it? Should I do it? Am I ready? Am I not? Am I
And then
ready?
you have me on the sidelines sending you all the home
always
for good
with the
dogs.
cutest dogs. I'm like, she's breaking my heart again, people.
Would you get another dog like Jet or a different breed?
No, probably different breed.
Okay.
Jet was great
One
when
of
I
a
was
kind.
when I was younger,
Yeah.
and she was one of a kind, just like her daddy.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
one of a
right.
kind.
That's right.
But she was a lot of energy, like all day long. I'm like, all right, calm down.
Well, that's what you get from the Jack Russells. Yeah.
100%.
Nothing but energy.
The cutest thing in the world. I would recommend a Jack to anybody, but my Jet was incredible. But yes, I will get a dog, and probably it's going to happen sooner rather than later. And it's
Okay,
going
I'm
to
on
be a
it.
major
I'm on
surprise.
it.
And she or he will be on the show and,
Yes.
and be introduced.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
On that
All right,
note,
listen, on that note, we got to go to close. Again, love you all. You are the best in the world.
Love you too. Love you
will
so
all
much.
come back again throughout the year. We're going to start season 11 in probably a month's time.
Woohoo!
Hallelujah. But thank you.
Thank you for
you.
being so open and gracious and selfless and giving us our platforms too.
try.
And just an incredible human.
Yeah.
An
And by the-
amazing real estate agent, a fantastic radio host, but really just the best person.
And the
Thank you
best
so much.
brother.
I really appreciate it. I really do.
Amen.
But you know what? People ask me about you all the time. And if I don't mention that enough to people, please know that it's true all the time, especially when you make your guest appearances these days because you're not on regularly. oh, that's Anna. Oh, that's Tracy.
Yes, they really are that funny in real life.
Well, they haven't been on it forever. It's like, I know, it's my fault. I know. Whatever. Anyway, maybe 2 days a week and we can get everybody on. Anyway, thank you. We're coming right back with my thoughts of the week. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, it's Stephen Bailey from Roadway Moving and Storage. Listening to Vince Rocco, you know the right partner makes all the difference. At Roadway, we deliver an experience your clients will love. For specialized services and white glove care, choose Roadway. Want to learn more? Email me at steven@roadwaymoving.com or visit roadwaymoving.com.
All right, everybody, we're back with my thoughts of this week. And so after 10 years of hosting my podcast, or my show as I call it, my passion for it has only grown stronger. What started as a creative outlet has evolved into a platform that connects me with a diverse and engaged audience whose support has been nothing short of incredible. The thrill of sharing stories, insights, and ideas with listeners who genuinely resonate with the content is deeply rewarding to me. Over the years, the audience has grown into a vibrant community, and their responses, whether through messages, reviews, or live interactions, fuel my drive to keep going. And as they asked me before, knowing that this show sparks conversations, inspires, and brings joy to so many people reaffirms why I love doing it, even a decade later. And on my network right here, the More Network, my show is the most listened to and watched on YouTube. That is a great accomplishment, and it's an honor. So many thanks to all of you who watch and listen each week. I'm humble, as I keep saying, and grateful. To many more years of episodes to come, I remain. And also, congratulations to New York City, my town, on your great achievement, the greatest melting pot in the world. Thank you to everyone. And that's our broadcast for today. Thanks to my guests for being here on set with me. You can follow me on Facebook, on Threads, Instagram, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, or TikTok at Vince Rocco. And as Norman Vincent Peale always says,
shoot for the moon, because even if you miss, you'll land upon the stars.
Woohoo!
Isn't that something? And I write that
Jordan's
whenever
favorite
for Jordan. And from all of us here at Talking New York Real Estate and the More Network, to all of you around the world, thank you so much for spending a part of your day with us. I am grateful, and I will see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.